Hey friends, welcome back to Cooking with Dee. Today we're making some childhood favorite of Jack Mackerel Croquettes, and I'm using Chicken of the Sea brand canned Jack Mackerel. You can use any brand that you have. I've actually seen cans of Jack Mackerel in the dollar store. Haven't tried it, but I'm sure it works just as fine. All right, you want to add your Jack Mackerel. I'm using 2 cans. And that should yield me about 7 to 8 patties. I'm removing the large spinal bone. Some people leave all the bones in. They're 100% edible. I personally think it's a little crunchy, so I remove the large bone, but I let the little ones remain. They pretty much disintegrate once you cook your Jack Mackerel croquettes. And by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm cooking these in the air fryer for the first time. My doctor wants me to watch my cholesterol, so I really don't need to deep fry these. These are all the large spinal bones that I removed. All right, you want to take your fork and fork your meat into smaller pieces so that it looks kind of like canned tuna. Not kind of, a lot like it, matter of fact. That's how you want it to look. I'm using about 1/3 cup of some diced yellow onions and green bell peppers. 1 egg. Now, some people don't put eggs in theirs. I do. My mom used it, so I'm copying her. She said it helps bind the patty well. Now, some people will use flour to help bind theirs. I don't. I'm cutting back on the carbs. I love to use some Dijon mustard in mine, and I'm just about out, so I'm going to drain this container. It will probably be about maybe 3 teaspoons to about 2 to 3 teaspoons of mustard, Dijon mustard. Next, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and you can use whatever brand of mayonnaise you have on hand. I tend to keep Duke's on hand or Hellman's. And no, this video is not sponsored by any company. I'm just sharing with you the brands that I like to use. I have a mixture of some seasonings that I put together, some Cajun seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, a little pepper, a little salt, and I'm working that in with the fork. And this looks a little dry for me, so I'm going to add about another tablespoon of some mayonnaise. All right, I took my sleeve of Ritz crackers and I crushed them in the sandwich bag. Just get a rolling pin or something and crush them finely. Some people use breadcrumbs or, what is it? I forgot the brand. Pinko breadcrumbs. I like the taste of Ritz crumbs in my dishes, so I crumbled up 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers. And you can use about 1.5 sleeves. I'm using 1 sleeve. Like I said, my doctor is really watching my numbers, and I'm watching it with him. So I'm only using 1 so I don't have too many carbs. All right, fork those in. And I forgot to say at the beginning of this video, save a little bit of your salmon juice. I'm going to add a little bit. This is optional. This is going to make it taste really fishy. I added about 1 tablespoon of it. It's optional. You don't have to add it if you don't want to, but I did because I want my Jack Mackerels moist on the inside. And I'm adding more mayonnaise. So total, maybe about 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Let's just say that. And I apologize, I did not write this recipe down. You can go look at my salmon croquette that I made with fresh salmon. Look at the recipe in the description, and it's pretty much the same. All right, use either an ice cream scoop or a large spoon like this so that your patties are uniform. Shape it, pat it in your hand. And it's best to make them all at the same time so you can gauge the sizes. You can see them as they're laid out side by side. Instead of making them, dipping it in the grease if you're going to fry it. Like I said, this is an air fryer dish, so I'm making all of mine at the same time, and I'm going to place them in the air fryer. Now, my mom, of course, back in the 70s, she fried hers in a cast iron skillet. But we're getting away from frying in grease. So I have 8 patties, and I set my air fryer initially on bake at 390. But before I put them in, I want to spray it with some extra virgin olive oil. Spray the inside of your air fryer. And try not to overcrowd them. I did about 3 at a time so that they had plenty of air movement inside. I set it for 8 minutes, and then I flipped it over, and I didn't like the texture, so I changed it to broil for about 6 minutes because it was really, really soft. Not crispy like what I'm used to, but, it's a mindset. Growing up, they were crispy because they were fried in grease. So technically, this is pretty good considering it's in an air fryer. Like I said, I did 8 minutes on one side and 6 on the next, and there it is. Yum. Now I did mix a little mayonnaise and hot sauce together and a pinch of salt to make a little kind of like spicy sauce to go with mine. Growing up, we ate it with ketchup, biscuits, syrup, rice, and corn for dinner, and for breakfast it was grits, eggs, and salmon croquettes. Don't forget to hit like, share, comment, and subscribe.